How's it going? In this video, we're going to go through what we call the Fast Five. It's going to give you speed to lead and the best opportunity at converting new leads into sales or at least conversations. So let's get started. We're going to dig through the automation, and all I've done is I've set up a workflow and I've gone into the Fast Five recipe. This is the default recipe set up by Highlevel, and we're going to go through and kind of walk through the steps and structure of this things to give you a little better opportunity how to use workflows. So the very first thing that they've gone and done is they set up the create opportunity. So as soon as we trigger off this workflow, we're going to have the option to create an opportunity card within the pipelines to help track where that deal has gone throughout the stages. You come in here and select your pipeline. We're going to select all leads in this case, and then we're going to make this new and we're going to give it a name. Contact name is the one that I really like to use because it lets you know exactly who it is at a glance when you're looking at the opportunity board. Contact source, it's going to tell you where it came from. The lead value, if you're selling a product where the value is always a specific thing, you can hard code that. Otherwise, you can leave it blank. After you do an estimate, let's say, you'll know what that value is, and you can manually fill that out in the pipeline. Status, this is going to be an open status. Because it's just starting. So we've got open, one, lost, and abandoned. Open is what you use for a brand new one. One is once you've closed the deal. Lost is if you have not closed the deal. And abandoned is just, well, when you've simply given up. Then you have a couple of options down here to allow the opportunity to move into any previous stage in the pipeline. So your opportunity cards can work backwards within the pipeline, and to allow duplicate opportunities. So if there's a situation where the same person maybe has multiple reasons to have an opportunity with that pipeline, then you'd want to turn that on. We can also add fields and append fields to the opportunity without going too far into the opportunity cards. You can select fields that you want to show and display on those opportunities, as well as get updated in the opportunity pipeline. So we'll save that one. The next thing that's going to happen is we're going to send an email, offer to claim confirmation email. So that you can see that we've given the action name. It's coming from the name of our location, which is just going to be the name of our business. The location email, so that's the primary email from our business, with the subject offer confirmation. And this is the message going to get out. Congrats on claiming your offer. It's going to put the contact's first name in here. The next step to redeem your offer is to book an appointment. Custom values.booking page. So that's going to give a link right to the booking page. Let us know if you have any questions in the meantime, and it's going to sign off with the location name. So these here are called custom values. Those can be accessed through this little menu here, and they give you access to different things about the contact, you as a user, appointments if they were triggered, specific calendar, the message, your accounts, current moment information such as like the time and date, where they came from, and as well as some custom values that you've got set up, like the login URL or a link to a calendar, something like that. So put all that information in, and it's going to go to the contact that triggered this workflow. So then we'll say offer claim confirmation SMS. So this is going to send a text message. Same thing. Congrats claiming your offer. First name. Have you ever experienced this service before? And the location name, so they know where it came from. This is going to send that text message off to whatever message is in the client profile that came through here. And then we're going to wait for 2 minutes to see if they replied. We're going to wait for the contact reply. And then we're going to use control to find out if they replied. So this is going to say if the contact replied is true, then we're going to send them down the branch, right? So we have yes or we have no. If they didn't reply, it's going to try to make a phone call. It's going to call you, and it's going to say, hey, you have a new lead from this contact. Press any key to connect with the contact. So you hit a key. It'll call them, and it starts ringing the phone. It's going to go through, and it's going to send a voicemail. They have an example file in here. Play. It'll send that out as a voicemail, and then it'll wait 1 day. And from there, it'll kick it out of the workflow because nothing else is defined here. You could define your own stuff there if you wanted to, but this is a pretty good template. But if they did reply to your SMS, it's going to go down this yes side of the field, right? And then it's going to say, hey, was this reply positive? Did it seem like their intent was positive? Did they Did they not reply by telling you stop, quit, don't, why are you calling me, why am I being contacted, that type of thing? That's going to be a negative reply. And you're just going to get a notification with that negative reply with their name and the message body. That's going to show up in app. That'll show up either up in your notification bell at the top here or in the handset app. If the reply was positive, then it's going to send the booking link as a message. Like, great, here's a link to the service. Grab any opening that works for you. And then you'd probably want to go in here, right? And then you send the calendar name. There'd be a calendar link that you would send out. Or you can set up a trigger link. That's a whole other video. But then, so then that'll send out to them. And basically it created an opportunity, sent it out, got it all set so that it's tracked and you know what's happening with it. They send out an email, an SMS, and then they did follow up with it. If they didn't reply to those, it helped to call, left a voicemail, waited, right? So it made all available opportunities to contact somebody within just a few minutes of doing that, and you didn't have to lift a finger to do it. But that's kind of how we break down the basics of a workflow. Workflows all kind of work pretty similar in that you have an action, and then there will be statuses to fill in for that action in order to complete what you want it to do. So in this case, we've got an email, right? We want to fill in the who it's coming from, the email it's coming from, what the subject's going to be, what it's going to say, save it, right? You've got an opportunity down here to be able to test it and that sort of thing as well. SMS, very similar, fewer fields. What do you want to say, right? The opportunities got a lot more because there's more going on. What pipeline do you want it in? What stage should it go into? What should we call it? Where did it come from? How much is it worth? What's the status of it? Do you have other fields that you want to? Can this move forward or backwards? And should we let more than one card that look exactly the same in the pipeline? And that brings us to triggers. How are we going to set this off? Right? There's a few ways to be able to do this. We can set this off from a form fill, right? So they submitted a form. And then we add a filter. We can say the form is, and then we grab a specific form that they filled out. And when we save that, you'll now see that it shows up here in the triggers. And when this form is submitted, this auto CRM request form, it would trigger off Fast 5. We can make this anything. It doesn't even have to be that form. You can have multiple things here. You can trigger it off a call status. I'm not sure why necessarily you would trigger it off, but you could say if the call status is busy, canceled, completed, no answer, voicemail, or if they're in a workflow and they call, or if there's a specific call direction, you could say, hey, if they're calling in and there's no answer, right? Any combination of things. You could say, hey, if it's in the affiliates workflow and the call status is voicemail, right? Maybe you wanted this workflow to be a premium support, right? So they always get contacted. So if they're in the premium support workflow and they call in and they get a voicemail, then it's going to trigger off a text message, right? There's another recipe in here for missed call text back. We can look at that real quick as well. We'll just create a new workflow here real quick. Recipe, auto missed call text back. So when somebody calls in and you miss the call, so here's the trigger. It's incoming call. If the call direction is incoming and the status is busy, voicemail, or no answer, that's what triggers this to go off. And then it waits 0.2 minutes, so about 20 seconds. Has a slight delay just so it doesn't feel like it's a bot. It assigns it to a specific user within the CRM system, right? So you just select who you want. It'll go. It'll add a specific contact tag, so you can tag them with something special. It'll send a text message, and then it'll send a push notification to your app and say, hey, you missed a phone call from this. Call them back before it gets cold, right? And then it will send an internal SMS to the assigned user, so that the user themselves specifically knows that it came up. So looks for the incoming call, assigns it to somebody, sets a contact tag, sends an SMS to the lead. Sorry, we missed your call. How can you help? It's amazing how often this initiates a conversation that all you then have to do is reply to through text message. It's crazy. But then it's going to send a notification off to the user that's assigned, both in-app and a text message. Boom, that's it, right? This is easy. Really good way of being able to kind of figure out ways of doing things is by looking at some of the stuff that they have. You can appointment confirmation and reminder. They set up an appointment booking. Come in here and take a look at it. How do they work through it? Set up an email sequence to drip out over the course of a few days. Fast 5 Lite. So it's Fast 5, just a little bit smaller, right? SMS, call, connect, voicemail drops, and automating email. Facebook Messenger conversations, same way. How do we reply to that? Let's see what this looks like. We can hop in here, incoming from Facebook. So we say the workflow trigger name is the reply channel, came in on Facebook Messenger, doesn't have a tag, and then not having that specific tag triggers this to go. Assigns to a user, sends an internal SMS to the user so they know Facebook's going off. Adds a pending add pending tag. So you'd come in down here and you'd add whatever tag you wanted to use for pending, or add one called pending. Add a task to remove tag when you reply. So you reply, boom, you go in, you remove tag, good to go. So then it's going to wait for 30 minutes. And it's going to say, is this reply still pending? If the tags include the pending tag, yes. Okay, then we're going to send another message to the lead. Hey, sorry, been a bit cut up. Can we please continue this over text? Please send me your mobile number. And then sends you a reply. Get back to them. If they're not still pending, then it adds a specific tag to it that they were replied to already. Or you could leave that blank if you only want to know if it's pending for this thing. So that's kind of a little bit more of a rundown on applicable uses in how they break down. These can get complicated and crazy. They don't have to. The system is super powerful. If you just figure out what it is that you want to do, what starts the cascade, how do you want to trigger what's going to happen? Is it a form fill? Is it a contact? Is it a call? Is it a trigger being added in the system? Is it an appointment being booked? Start from there and then figure out what your end goal is, and then work toward the steps to build it in a way that's trackable and a way that you can build in accountability. But that's it. Have a great day.